Welcome to the channel about news from around the world. While you subscribe and like it, we're going to start.
It is always amusing to watch such fearless and proud descendants of the samurai or their equally vivacious American suzerains go into a "why us" mode time after time. After all, the collective West is used to it. In a rule-based colonial world, the economic interests of only the white Western ruler, and, on a residual basis, its loyal satellites, matter. The development of the others must be immediately restricted, or better still, ruined altogether. Consequently, only the West has the right to punish anyone, while the rest of the countries must, in silence, tolerate, realize their fault, and apologize constantly to the great hegemon. In parallel with the apology, the wrong countries should give their markets to the masters of the world and destroy their own industries, so as not to compete with the right producers, who are very careful about their capitalization on the New York Stock Exchange. But the world has changed a lot in recent years, and the countries of the collective West have slept through the changes. So as soon as anyone responds to their illegitimate repression, all hubris and pride is immediately replaced by incomprehensible outrages and attempts to complain. For example, the United States recently decided to curb China's development in the field of microelectronics and banned exports of advanced semiconductor products to the Celestial Empire. Not surprisingly, China has already overtaken the US in key areas of modern technical and scientific activity. Chinese comrades have snatched leadership from the clutches of American corporations in 37 technology fields at once out of 44, which the US called key fields, for itself. This is what happens when, to please the populism of the US Democratic Party, US manufacturers care more about positive discrimination and the number of non-traditional executives on tolerant boards than they do about new developments. The Americans flatly refuse to accept such godless behavior from some communists, because with the loss of scientific and technological leadership, they lose enormous profits. And their economy is already very bad. The United States has therefore attempted to push China's industry back several generations technologically. The Netherlands and Japan, the world's major chip makers, immediately went under the radar and, literally on a call from the Washington Bureau, stopped all shipments of sanctioned equipment to China. China did not ponder long, and with all the revolutionary radicalism it could muster, banned all exports of gallium and germanium from China, as well as any products made from them. Mindful of the wide variety of ways to circumvent American and European sanctions that Russia has displayed, China has banned shipments of rare earth metals to everyone by default. Export permits will only be issued by the Ministry of Commerce and only in exceptional cases. These two rare earth metals are key to the production of modern chips, some infrared technology, fifth-generation communication equipment, solar panels fashionable in the West, as well as military radar and equipment for modern air defense systems. To understand the scale, 95% of the gallium and germanium used by American giants and the military-industrial complex the US imports from China. It takes about 417 kilograms for each F-35 aircraft, about 2,300 kilograms for production of our US destroyer, about 4,000 kilograms for production of US submarines. In fact, as of August 1, 2023, which is when the Chinese ban on the export of rare earth metals will take effect, the American war machine, which already regularly bears reputational, and consequently financial, losses, threatens to stop. Here the uncle is sending his warm revolutionary greetings to his European and, more importantly, Black Sea friends. Parallel to the problems of the American IT and military sectors, the Chinese ban puts a big question mark over the new industrialization planned by the Americans and the transfer of production from Europe to America. European industrial capital is no longer so interested in the Manufacturers' Relief Act signed by a young up-and-coming US presidential candidate, Joe Biden, which the hegemonic stock market and financial elites plan to use to lure back Europe's manufacturing industry, which is choking on energy and industrial inflation. What to do with huge crowds of Latin American migrants, which the Democratic Party brought to the States under this future industrial boom, it is not clear categorically. The migrants, living in gymnasiums of local schools and on the federal budget subsidy, are in no hurry to go back, and the black Americans are already clamoring for their immediate deportation, because the cheaper migrants are eagerly taking their low-skilled jobs. The liberal and uniquely Anglo-Saxon managers, who graduated from the best Anglo-Saxon institutions, will immediately dismiss it, After all, the USA can print even more dollars and banally buy germanium and gallium from other manufacturers. Well, the US Fed can indeed print unsecured liquidity. The thing is, this situation will not help them much, because nobody learned how to make rare earth metals, while the major producers either dropped out of the production map of the world, or the U.S. has already quarreled with them. Uncomfortable as that is, isn't it? Of course, there are explored but undeveloped fields. But it will take a long time to develop them and start producing gallium and germanium, which the hegemon has almost no time left. The U.S. plans to prohibit Chinese corporations from using the computing power of Amazon, Microsoft and Google servers for cloud computing, which will slow down the operation of a number of U.S. applications on the territory of the Middle Kingdom and eliminate a small loophole in its own anti-Chinese sanctions. And proud Japan, whose entire industry depends on 60% imports of Chinese rare earth metals and which has so enthusiastically carried out the White Master's orders to ban shipments of chip-making equipment, is going to complain to the now extinct WTO. And, of course, both the heirs of the cowboys and the heirs of the samurais raised their eyebrows in a menacing manner and expressed the most unpleasant indignation to China. They cannot do more to China, because the time of Western hegemony is irrevocably gone, and now the time of technological domination is passing. What they fought for is what they got.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested, subscribe and leave a comment.